Hello again, everybody. Today we are studying Psalm 53 together. So hopefully you've read the chapter. If you have, you may have noticed that it's strikingly similar to another one that we've talked about. We'll talk about that a little bit more in our outline section. If you would like the PDF outline that we use for this study and our other studies, you can download it at the To Be Like Christ website. Now, who wrote Psalm 53? It was written by David. So yes, I think this is the third in a row we've seen from David. And we do have a New Testament reference. The Apostle Paul references Psalm 53 and Psalm 14 in Romans chapter 3, verses 10 through 12. Themes. What are our themes? Number one, atheism, or the belief that there is no God, is a fool's position. This is according to David. And then number two, God will humble those who abuse others. Our definitions, we also have two. We've seen both of these before, but just to review. The first one is maskil. It appears in verse 1. The exact meaning of this term remains unknown. Some people think that it was a musical indicator telling the musician or the performer how the psalm was supposed to be presented. Other people think that it indicates a psalm that's meant to impart wisdom to its hearer. The second word is a name. It's the name Jacob. And as we've talked about before, often in the Psalms, the name Jacob is used to refer to all of the people of Israel and Judah. The reason for that is because Jacob was the father of the 12 tribes, or the 12 sons, whose families would eventually become the 12 tribes of Israel. So maybe you remembered when you were reading Psalm 53, or maybe not, but you might have had some deja vu. Psalm 53 is almost an exact carbon copy. It is a twin of Psalm 14. There are only a few changes, minor changes in the text. Even the verse count is almost the same. So go back and look at Psalm 14 after the study and see just how close it is to what we're going to read here. And our outline is basically the same as Psalm 14, so I guess this will serve as a refresher. Verses 1 through 6, that's the whole thing, is under the heading, "The fool says in his heart, there is no God." So fools tell themselves and try to convince themselves that God does not exist. And this leads them to live lives of corruption, lives of sin, and, according to David, quote, "abominable iniquity." David wrote that there is none who does good, not even one, in verse 3. And David was astounded by the ignorance of these evil people. He asked, quote, "Have those who work evil no knowledge?" Basically saying, do they know nothing? Were they really not aware that God was watching the earth and watching them abuse other people, and that they would be called into judgment for this eventually? Seems like they kind of did know that, or at least they feared that it might be a possibility. Even though these men tried to convince themselves that God wasn't real, text says that they lived in constant fear. And I think that's because inwardly they knew that their position was a lie. They knew deep down in their hearts that God was real, that they were going to be called to justice, either in the current life that they were living or in the afterlife. So they lived in this fear, even though they claimed not to believe. God was their enemy, and God destroys those who fight against him, David says. David writes that God scatters the bones of those who encamp against him. So do not make war with God, otherwise you're going to be destroyed, your bones scattered all over the place. Complete defeat. David prayed for Israel to be delivered from these kinds of men, and he longed to see Jacob rejoice in the day that God delivered them. Okay, so that takes us down to our application. As Christians, it is appropriate and often necessary to question the established cultural narratives of our time. God thinks that only a fool would question his existence, while the institutes of higher learning, at least in Western cultures, would have you believe that only a fool would believe in God. God's truth is very far from the truth that's preached by men who want to make themselves into God. And I think we need to learn this, that we ought not to feel bad or to let somebody shame us out of investigating the truth of popular narratives. We shouldn't just swallow everything, hook, line, and sinker, and say, well, somebody of authority told me this, and so therefore I believe it. You are right to question some of the things that the world promotes. When those that the world promotes as experts are called fools by God, then it would be inappropriate for Christians not to question some of the things that they say. If these experts get the existence of God wrong, Can we really trust anything that they have to tell us? It's not debatable that much of the world is under the influence of Satan, and Satan is the father of lies. So he is, of course, going to use people who are seen to have authority, people the world sees as experts, to spread lies, and those people will spread them, either out of ignorance and believing Satan's lie, or maybe intentionally, very much working for him. So we need to have a natural skepticism, healthy skepticism of some of the things that we hear, and especially balancing those with God's word. That's not to say that people who aren't Christians are never going to speak a truth or never going to say anything that might be valuable to us, right? But again, we need to have a healthy skepticism because Satan is out in the world spreading lies all the time, every day.